if I'm a lawyer and I practice in
Yep.
divorce lawyer, so it's like the 10 mistakes most people make when they're getting a divorce. Instead of sending people to like a landing page that's like, hey, schedule a free consultation and find out, what I would do is I'd send people to a blog post that says the 10 mistakes most people make when it comes to divorce and how to fix them. I'd give people really good free upfront context.
This is the Art of Lawyering podcast, a show all about making more money, being a badass attorney, and loving your life. The Art of Lawyering is all about becoming the best you possible. Whether you are a law firm owner, an associate attorney, or somewhere in between, this podcast is built to help you get the most out of life.
Hello, and welcome to episode 15 of the Art of Lawyering podcast. As always, I'm your trusted, handy-dandy host, Christopher Small, and I'm excited to introduce and get to today's interview. Somebody that's really cool. Been a part of my network for a few years, and I love talking to him about this kind of stuff because he's always got some really, really great insight. But before I get there, I wanted to tell you a little bit about what's going on with me and with the Art of Lawyering and with everything. I am right now in the process of putting together the course for this this first quarter, or the next quarter, I guess, of Law Firm Confidential, which is my membership site. Right, it's the place where I sort of break down everything that I've done in starting and building my firm and teach it to you so that you can do the same thing. And this quarter's course is all about Google AdWords, which I am super excited about. And I've been learning a lot on my own. I've been testing a lot with my own firm, and I'm really excited to share that with everybody that's a member. And so if you're listening, I'm still pumped about it. I've got a lot of the videos shot already, and I'm just putting some final touches on it, and it's going to be ready to go that first week of April. For the rest of you out there that are not Law Firm Confidential members, I wanted to let you know that you could have had your first month of Law Firm Confidential for only $1. So you could have got in and checked it out for super cheap, but that time has passed. Time has passed you by. And the people that were alerted to that opportunity were people that are on my email list. Right, and the email list I use to not just give you deals and things like that, but I actually use it to sort of supplement the things that we talk about here, supplement the blog posts that I put out every day, and to really give you a little bit more inside information. For example, today's email was about the email that I send to my list and why I send it to them, and things like that. So it's a great thing to be on. If you want to get on the list and check it out, it's free. Just go to theartoflawyering.com. There's a banner right up at the top for you to sign up, and I'd love to see you there, and would love to sort of welcome you to that group. Which is, again, it's all free, and you got nothing to lose. Go check it out. If you think it sucks, you can always unsubscribe and get back off the list, and never be worse for the wear. But if you're listening to this podcast, then there's something that you're looking for. Whether it's support or tips, tricks, help, whatever, just success stories. All those things are sort of taken to the next level with the list, and I'd encourage you to go check it out. Okay, once again, just go to theartoflawyering.com. It's right there at the top. You can't miss it. All right. The other thing I wanted to talk about too was, before I get there, I want to tell you that the Law Firm Confidential membership is $97, and it's real funny. I had some people email me, respond that were on the list, and they were talking about the price, and that they weren't sure about the price. They thought it. I don't know if they thought it was too much or not. I don't know what you think about the number 97, but it's important to start thinking about things in terms of value and not in terms of expense when you are making investments in yourself and in your firm. So I know without a doubt that if you invested $97 in Law Firm Confidential, that you would get at least a 10x return on your investment. Okay, which means even the first month you put $97 in, I guarantee you're going to make at least $1,000 off of that investment. Okay, assuming that you do something that you learn inside the membership group. You can't help but not learn something. We have a private Facebook group where you can ask people questions. We have a bunch of courses there from the past that I've completed. I do a monthly webinar and a monthly Q&A session. Those are all recorded and in there too. There's so much information in there for you to take a look at. You only need one nugget to make an extra $1,000, and there are hundreds of nuggets in there for you. So, if you're interested in checking it out, lawfirmconfidential.net is the place to go. Go check it out. What do you got to lose, right? Let's see. If you listen to the podcast, obviously, because you're listening right now. Every Friday I've been doing sort of a Q&A session, and I'd like to extend that more, but I need more questions to do that. All right. For now, I've just kind of been asking the members of Law Firm Confidential what they want to know, but I'm willing to open it up to everybody. All right. But to do that, I just need your questions. The easiest way to do that, you can email me, chris@theartoflawyering.com. You can also send me a message on Facebook. You can also send me a message on Twitter, or you can just ask the question on Twitter. It's @artoflawyering for Twitter, and facebook.com/theartoflawyering to find The Art of Lawyering. If you just Google it, you can't miss it. All right. So ask your questions. Ask questions about anything you want. Ask them about your law firm. You can ask them about me personally. You can ask me questions about literally anything you want. What my favorite movies are. I don't care. But the more questions that you ask, the more questions that you are going to have answered. So please take a minute to do that. If something pops up, hop on and ask it real quick. I'll keep a big long list of them, and I'll start knocking them out. Maybe do 30 minutes a show and just straight answering questions. So I'd love to do that for you. And so take a second and ask me a question. Okay, now, one of the other things I wanted to do before we got to the interview for the day was sort of pull back the curtain a little bit on my firm and talk about what's going on with me. I don't get to do that as much now with the format of the podcast, but I wanted to take a second to do that. And I knew that this was something I should talk about because I am hesitant to do it, right? And whenever you're sort of hesitant to do it, that means that you should definitely do it. This is the stuff that you all want to know about. This is probably part of the reason why you're here. And I wanted to share this with you just so you understood that it's not always all, cocktails and dreams, at my firm. That I have a lot of the same struggles that you do, and I'm working through them. And everybody has these struggles. Before I get to my story too, I want to tell you about a cool video that I watched that is directly on point with my story. And it was an old Steve Jobs video, like really old. So he was, it was from the 80s. He was founding, he was doing Next, the company that he started after he got fired from Apple the first time. They were having these company retreats. They were 90 days into their business. So they literally had only been started for 90 days. They didn't have a product yet or anything. And they were talking about what they were going to do, what the priorities were, and things like that. Then they came and they met another 90 days after that. And a big conversation was about cash flow, right? And what they'd realized was that they were spending money on things that weren't really helping them reach their goals, and that it was putting them in a cash flow crunch. And that was really relevant for me because I and my firm found ourselves in a cash flow crunch over about the last 30 days or so. And I wanted to talk to you about that because I want to let you know what the problem was and how we figured it out and what we're doing now to move forward. So our business has been really good. We've been signing up a lot of clients and we've been doing that kind of stuff. But we had gotten into the habit of letting people get on relatively long payment plans. And the problem wasn't that they weren't paying, but the problem was we were extending it so far that our cash flow was getting hurt. So if you look out for the next 6 months, for example, we probably have, $100,000 in receivables, right? So over the next 6 months, we're going to be making $100,000 off the cases that we've already signed up. But the problem was we needed, 30 grand this month to cover all of our expenses and all the things that we were doing. And we were having trouble getting there because of these extended payment plans that we were putting ourselves on for our clients. So that was tough, and I was really nervous. There were a couple of days where I was like, holy crap, are we going to be able to make payroll? We need to make some cash. We need to do some things. We need to turn the spigot on Google AdWords, for example, to start getting some more clients in to make some more cash. And then we also, on top of that, obviously, we need to change our payment procedures so that we don't find ourselves in this problem, right? And that means really taking the time to do the math on the payment plans and what we can afford to do and what we can't afford to do to make sure that we can meet all of our obligations for everyone, including our clients. So that's what we did, right? So I sat down, I got on the whiteboard, I started putting numbers down and thinking about things, and instead of getting scared and freezing up, instead of that, I got to work, right? I sat down, I turned Google AdWords back on in a big way. I opened the spigot up so that we would get more potential clients coming in, and obviously that worked, right? Because that's how it works if you do it right. That's why I'm creating this course and getting it out there, is because it does work and it's awesome. And then we also took a hard look at our expenses, right? Which is something that Steve Jobs talked about. What are we spending money on that we really need? And what are we just spending money on because we signed up for it a long time ago and we forgot about it, or, we thought it would be cool or whatever. Took a look at that, really kind of try to trim that stuff down. And then we modified our payment plans so that the people that sign up with us now are still getting a good value and are still, being able to pay over time if they need to, but we can still make our cash flow and pay our bills. And I'll tell you exactly what we did was, so we charged, typically we charge $4,900 for a DUI. So what I did was I gave a discount if you pay all up front, it's $3,900, or you have the option of paying the $4,900 over 4 monthly installments. So people have been receptive to that. We've had people sign up on those terms, and that helps out everyone. So, like I said, I wanted to pull back the curtain a little bit and let you know that although we are doing great things, that we have our own problems that we have to take care of and our own issues that we have to resolve. And that's just part of being an owner. Even Steve Jobs had to do it. He did it probably up until his last days when he was at Apple. So don't take those kinds of things that pop up as signs of failure, right? Those are growing pains. Those are lessons to be learned. But that's just part of sort of owning a law firm, right? So I want to encourage you to, if you have issues like that too, come on our Facebook group, and ask me questions. Send me an email about it, and I'll talk about it here on the podcast. But the problems that you're having are probably universal problems. So that's what I got today. So let's talk about who the interview is, right? This is a guy that I've had on Law Firm Marketing Mastery before. I had him come back on the show. It's not a replay. It's new material, and it's a completely new subject. So this guy is talking all about Facebook ads, okay, and Facebook in general, social media. He's big into social media, and there's some really, really good nuggets in there. I can tell you that the course for the next quarter is going to be on Facebook, okay? Because what you do is you take what you get from Google, you can integrate that into Facebook, and you can just take your marketing efforts and your client acquisition efforts up to an entirely different level. So without further ado, here's the show. See ya.
A lot's kind of new. I don't have I sort of pivoted from even the show that I had the last time that we talked. It was Law Firm Marketing Mastery. Now it's the Art of Lawyering, right? It's more, it's just less business. I mean, it's still businessy, but it's more sort of well-rounded, I guess, is the best way to describe it. Because I like to talk about marketing and stuff like that, but I also like to talk about leadership. I like to talk about mindset. Just those things that it's more than just marketing.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. You can hear me fine, right?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Okay, I'm moving around a little bit, just kind of moving stuff around. But
Yeah, that's cool.
okay, so all right, so let me just set this stuff up.
Yeah.
So this is probably how it sounds. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds fantastic on my end.
Okay, cool.
So, okay, you just want to kind of dive in. Like I said, you're just a cool dude to talk to because you got a lot of experience with a whole bunch of different stuff. Started a business. Yeah. Obviously, you got the online marketing chops and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said in my email, I kind of just plan to sort of see what's up with you and try to extract some ideas. Is there anything that you want to talk about in particular? What's on top? What's on the top of your brain right now? Like, what's the thing that you're focusing on right now?
So I think the thing that will help them the most is probably Facebook ads.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've had anybody talk about that, but
nope.
But I would say that.
I would love to talk to you about it because I've just been doing it, so I have questions. So that'd be awesome.
Great. Yeah. Let's do it from that standpoint.
Okay.
So moved to Seattle, sold my business for my wife to go to nursing school, worked at the university for my wife to get pretty much free schooling, and then was recently recruited by a startup to run all their paid traffic. And so that's the summary of kind of what I've been doing. But yeah, so tomorrow's my last day at the university, and next
really?
Monday I start. Yeah, so by the time people hear this, I'll probably be in that role.
Yeah.
And so yeah, man. Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna do a short intro, and then we'll just talk. All right.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll be done at 5:30 by the latest. If that works with you.
Okay, cool.
If we get done earlier, we do.
Yep, perfect.
If not, then all right, cool. So I'm gonna break for a couple seconds, and I'll just do the intro.
Okay.
I am pleased to announce or introduce, I guess, today's guest. He is someone that I've actually talked to before back on the old Law Firm Marketing Mastery podcast, but it's been a while since we've spoken. It could have been over a year, and a lot's happened with him. A lot's obviously happened with me in this place, and I thought it'd be a great time to catch up with him and learn some stuff from him. This guy is he's currently director of digital marketing for a university. He just informed me that he has taken another job with a startup, and we'll talk just briefly a little bit more about that because I'm just curious about what's going on with that. But his sort of, at least old school claim to fame, I think although he still does that, is social media marketing. I think back in the day it was Twitter. I know we're going to talk a lot about Facebook today, and he owned a social media business down in Sacramento for a long time, moved up to Seattle, and that's where I met him, was in Seattle, and now we're here today. So he's got a lot of great information. He's a really cool dude too, and I'm excited to welcome to the show Alejandro Reyes. Welcome to the show.
Yo, how's it going, man?
It's going great. So that introduction was mediocre at best is the way that I would describe it. I kind of jumped all around. What did I miss? Who are you?
Wow, I guess that's the question. I think the life question. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing with my life? And so that, to be honest, I mean, that was a joke, but to be honest, that's actually, what a lot has driven kind of what I do today. And so, yeah, my background's always been marketing. Sucked at it for a very long time, and 2006 built my first six-figure business online with some SEO, and SEO was kind of my claim to fame. And then said, hey man, if I can do this online, I could probably do it offline too. And so I started a local agency in Sacramento, built that up using Twitter. Twitter was probably 90% of the success. Started doing these tweet ups, these meetups, these events, these conferences, and from 14 people to over 400 people by the time we left, and we featured on every major media outlet, and one of 15 people to watch in Sacramento. And And I say that not to, impress you, but press upon you the fact of, what's possible with social today. And it's changed since I built that agency. At 7 years of marriage, my wife wanted her to pursue her goal of being a nurse. And so I sold that agency in 3 weeks to a good buddy of mine and moved out to Seattle and became the director of digital media at the university that my wife attends school at, and was just recruited to work for a startup here in Redmond. And so sold, learned a lot at the agency that I owned, learned a lot at the university, big budgets and a lot of traffic, a lot of data, a lot of really cool stuff. And, the startup kind of want to take all that I've learned and crush it there too. So that is who I is.
Right. Hey, you did a much better job than I did, so that's great. What are you going to be doing at this new place? This new job. What's your role going to be?
Yeah, it was really interesting how it all happened, man. I wanted to form a strategic partnership. I'm launching a podcast very soon, and I said, maybe these guys can be some sort of strategic partner, can get the word out about my podcast. And what I do, man, has always worked for me in business, Chris, is just adding a lot of value, giving people results before they even do business with me. And so, just like, a lawyer, just like any type of business, like how can I give someone, a lot of businesses do is let me give you a free consultation, call me up, and a lot of times you try to close that deal, right? And so for me, I was just like, let me give them a ton of value on the front end, and maybe on the back end, maybe I've done it to where, a lot of, done this type of strategy, if you will, and it's failed a lot, but the big gigs I've ever had, the big business, the big clients have always come from doing this kind of give first, receive later. And so long story short, I'm talking to them and they're like, man, halfway through the conversation, I'm like, we got to hire this guy. And so they want to hire for me from some of the strategies I was giving them. And that's some paid traffic, direct response kind of conversion, some high level copywriting, more of a social media strategy, kind of high level. I won't be doing a ton of the tweets and stuff like that.
Right.
Basically, to sum it up, it's online strategy. How do you have a strategy, good strategy, and what is the best type of strategy online right now today? So that's the bulk of the business. Probably a lot of networking, a lot of connecting. I have a lot of connections, and so yeah, man, that's what I've been doing.
So how did you meet these guys? Did you and I mean, you don't have to
Twitter.
You don't have to, you met Twitter. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'm just curious. I was connected. So this is the thing. You are a connector. Like what you just said about having connections and stuff was just like the understatement of the show so far. And I think what happens that I find is that people that are really good at that, like you are, sort of gloss over the nuts and bolts, and that's what a lot of people wonder. They say, God, he's making these connections. Exactly how, how did that happen? So that's what I'm curious about. What was sort of the play-by-play that started this whole relationship that then transitioned into this new opportunity for you?
Yeah, well, you and I met because of who I was connected to.
Yep.
It was back in Seattle, somewhere downtown. I don't even know Seattle very well, and I live here, but
right.
I'm a newcomer. But you saw that I was connected with Lewis and James, and so that was the connection. And man, connections are so powerful, man. I tell people all the time, 95% of all of my success, is directly related or indirectly related to the people I've met. What they've taught me or who they've introduced me to and what I've learned from those connections. The 5% is just being too naive not to actually take action on the stuff that I've learned. I went to college for 2 weeks, dropped out because I felt like mentorship was the faster way to success. And so I was connecting. The funny thing is, on this Twitter connection, I was connecting with someone else that has a little bit of influence in this space. Mm-hmm. And so someone saw that. I was connecting with someone like in Georgia or something like that. And someone local said, hey, I see you're local, would love to connect. And so me being the guy that I am, just wanting to connection. And, I don't connect with everyone. I kind of, look at, where I can see an angle.
Right.
I'm always thinking about that. If you get to know me, you hang out with me and we're connecting, you feel like I'm just, we're just hanging and we're bros and but like, I'm always thinking like, I can't waste my time. This is going to serve me at some level, and it's either going to benefit them way more, or it's going to be at least mutually beneficial. I would never go into connecting thinking like I'm going to try to like, you know, get the best bargain or deal out of this connection. Like I'm always okay with getting the short end of the stick.
Right.
And, you know, long story short, they connected me with the director of marketing at this startup, and the rest is history, man.
All right. So one last question, and then we'll move on. But so you said that, you know, you were connecting with someone in Georgia. What is that process like for you? So you find somebody, especially on Twitter, okay? Because look, we're attorneys here. Most, you know, I'm like consider myself to be extremely savvy as far as attorneys go, and I'm not that good. So when you talk about connecting with someone on Twitter, do you, like the guy in Georgia, you know, the first connection, did you just see someone and say, okay, you know, that guy or that girl, whoever, they are sort of have some things in common that we may be able to sort of connect and collaborate on, and then you just start following them and commenting on their stuff? Or like, you know, what's that process like for you?
Yeah, that's pretty close. You know, for me, I use lists. And so when I'm looking at someone, I'm looking at them, are they a strategic partner? You know, are they someone that can open me up to their database, to their connections, or are they a customer? Those are kind of the only two people I really think through. You know, I think strategic partnerships, you know, most people that really don't have a lot of business sense, they look on Twitter for customers. You know, I'm looking on Twitter for like one person that can open up a database of 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 people, you know? And so what I do is I put these people that I kind of just stumble upon, I put them in specific lists. So I have a list, you know, for news. I have a list for sports news. I have a list for people in Sacramento. I have a list for business people in Sacramento. I have a list of news anchors in Sacramento. I have a list of people in Seattle that are business people. You know, I have, you know, so I have these lists that every once in a while, it's very easy, you know, Twitter's mobile, and so on the go. So when I'm on the go, I kind of, you know, go in and out of these lists. And this particular guy had some sort of question or something, so I just responded to him. And like I do, you know, if there's a way I can add value to the conversation, then I'll jump in. But I'm not going to jump in like I see a lot of people doing, like, oh yeah, you know, buy my product. You know, it's like, hey, I have a problem with sleep. Okay, buy my sleep product. No, like, you know, like maybe point them to a blog source, or like, hey man, I have that same problem. You know, here's what I did, and just kind of, you know, just kind of serving people, man. Just that's the key, man, with connecting people, man. If you can outserve everyone, like everybody wants to be your best friend, and you know, and the more connections you make, the more resourceful you are. Everybody wants to know you, and because they know you're well connected. And so, man, connections, dude, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that was my shortcut to success. I had no money. I just had connection. I used Twitter to make connections. And you know, that's kind of how it all worked out.
Right. That's cool. That's good. Yeah, the stuff the knowledge that you just dropped for people, if they actually listen to it and apply it, is awesome. The lists with Twitter, you're right, it just makes it easier to sort of manage groups and also get in and out, like you said. So
here's the thing about business, dude. It's like, I talk about lists. They're like, oh, okay, tell me something I don't know. It's like, well, great. Have you actually done it?
Right.
Have you actually done it to close the deal? It's like, you know, for me, you know, success is all about, like, you know, doing the mundane, like the, you know, the details, the unsexy things. You can't have the sexy if you aren't doing the unsexy. And the sexy is the results, right? But you can't have the results unless you're willing to do like the stupid stuff that is basic. Everybody's always looking for that home run. It's like, man, if I hit singles and doubles, you know, bat 300, I make it to the Hall of Fame. And I'm good. You know,
totally.
I'm good with that. You know, I don't need to be Babe Ruth. I don't need to be Big Papi. I don't need to be, you know, just let me hit singles and doubles and, you know, be Pete Rose, but still make it to the Hall of Fame, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, a lot of what I do on this show is share what has been working for me. And the reason, well, there's a whole bunch of reasons I do it. Because it will help people if they actually do it. But the thing is, I know that probably 90% of the people, and you listener right now, I'm talking about you that's just listening, is not going to actually go and do a lot of the stuff that I talk about, you know, because eyes start to glaze over, you know, when you talk about, if you want these results, these are the actions that you need to take. You still there?
Yo, dude.
Hey, well, damn. Hate it when that happens, man.
Do you have bad internet?
Sometimes it's not great. Sometimes it's amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm at my house. So it's wireless. I'm not wired in.
Okay.
So, my apologies for that, man.
No, it's all good. You were talking.
I know. I hate it. I hate it when that happens, though. It's ridiculous. You'd think in today's day and age, you'd be able to get a great wireless connection, and not have your calls break up. But it doesn't. It doesn't happen. But
dude, our internet speed's crazy good.
Is it?
Oh my god. Yeah. Like let me. It's I think you see that? I just sent it to you.
Yep. Well, I just Let me see.
Look at that, dude. That's
off the charts.
Yeah.
That's legit.
So I thought it was at me at first, but I think it may be you.
No, it is me. It is me.
Okay.
But there's not much I can do about it where I'm at. So
it's all good.
Hopefully
it sounds good. It sounds good right now. So let's just go.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and basically what I was saying was, I was just agreeing with your point, and I was just saying that a lot of what this show is me telling people what I do and what I've done to be successful. And I know while I'm telling these things that 95% of the people are not going to do them because they involve some level of hard work, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, taking action is the number one step I tell people to do. Whenever I talk to anybody, I say it doesn't even matter. Just pick something and do it today.
Yeah. Yep.
And
absolutely.
Then you know what? Then do it again tomorrow, right? Think about where you want to be in 3 months, and then back it all the way up to today, and do the thing today that will get you there in 3 months, and then do the same thing tomorrow. That next thing. So that's cool.
Are you recording? Are you recording?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Cool. All right. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I just let it run. I'd use Camtasia and just screen capture the whole thing. So.
Listen. We'll focus. We talk a lot about the basics, a lot of thinking and strategy right now. But don't worry, we'll get to the ninja stuff shortly. But you gotta
we're diving in. I gotta set the table a little bit. I gotta warm you up. I'm like the fluffer.
There you go. Let's go. Yeah.
I gotta fluff you a little bit. So, I mean, we're gonna be here for 45 minutes. I can't just dive right in. Nobody wants that. And I'm curious. And look, you're a successful dude, so I like to kind of get these nuggets, and I think it's helpful, even though these are sort of our foundational principle kind of things. It's just you can't hear them enough.
Yeah. No, exactly.
You really can't. Okay, so I'm curious about one other thing, and then we'll talk about Facebook big time, because I have a bunch of questions. I told you I just started doing some stuff, and I have a lot of questions about Facebook, so I'm pumped to get it. But I didn't know that you dropped out of college after 2 weeks.
Yeah, man.
That's true, huh?
Oh yeah.
What? How did that? I'm just curious about that.
That was easy. That was an easy. I never was taught to go to college.
Okay.
My mom, I was never. I don't remember one time my mom told me to go to college. I never one time encouraged me to go to.
What was her lesson for you then? What was kind of her? What was the thing that?
Nothing.
Really?
Nothing. No, man. Grew up in the hood, man. There's just just stay alive, stay out of jail.
Yep.
Go to work. Work hard. The lesson my parents taught me was my mom and my stepdad, just hard work. Work hard.
Right.
And maybe once every few years you can go to Disneyland, or you can do something, but just work really hard. And so that's the lesson. And so I met a gentleman who was a mentor of mine, and he was making like 50 grand a year. And he went to the University of Florida, and I said, Jason, I said, how much of your 50,000, like how much of your success, like the $50,000 a month you're making right now, how much do you attribute school? And he looked at me and he put like the zero with his hand. He put like 0. And he said, well, let me back up. He said, it taught me 2 things. One, setting deadlines, waking up every Monday through Friday and being on time, being disciplined to commit to deadlines and finishing work. The second thing for him was networking. And so other than that, like I really didn't need to go to school, but it taught him what he needed to learn. But for me, I was like, I'm cool with school. And so after 2 weeks, I just said peace.
That's crazy. And did you start your own thing immediately, or what'd you do when you quit?
I just started hustling, man. Not the hood hustling, but just started trying to make things happen, and really try to make things happen. Did some little marketing here and there, and try to sell prepaid legal, and you should know prepaid legal, right?
Yeah.
And so try to do some of that stuff. So I told you, I feel like a lot of times we learn things, but a lot of times our results don't catch up to the information that we're digesting and we're intaking. I feel like we learn something, and sometimes the result, it takes a while for us to keep working hard, and it's like the 10,000 hours, right?
Yep.
You have to be. It says it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. So you can learn something, but it's still going to take you 10,000 hours. And so for me, man, from like 1999 to 2005, man, it was probably 10,000 hours of a lot of really learning and trying, making $100 here, $1,000 there, and the moment I got that $50, or the moment I got that $10, or the moment I got that $1,000, it's like, man, this stuff is real. One day I'm going to figure it out. And I figured it out in 2006, and the rest is kind of history.
Right. Well, let's teach some people how to fast track some stuff here with some direct marketing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Because that is a way, at least from a business standpoint, that you really can kind of jumpstart your business if you do it right. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about. You want to talk about Facebook specifically? Is that kind of what you're into right now?
Yeah. What I'm into is amplifying content. Driving traffic to content. It's like, I'd say if this call was like last year or the year before that, I probably would have just said, hey, man, send traffic to a landing page, and then that's good. But now, you gotta, what I'm starting to do with my clients, and with this new gig is started driving traffic, paid traffic, to amplify my existing content. And so what I mean by that is, like, I can send someone, so if I'm a lawyer, I'm gonna butcher this, but like if I'm a lawyer and I practice in divorce, divorce lawyer, so it's like the 10 mistakes most people make when they're getting a divorce. Instead of sending people to like a landing page that's like, hey, schedule a free consultation and find out, what I would do is I'd send people to a blog post that says the 10 mistakes most people make when it comes to divorce and how to fix them. I'd give people really good free upfront context. Goes back to the concept of networking. It goes back to the concept at the core of it is serving, right? Just giving people valuable information with no strings attached. And I can pixel those people, and what that means is basically I can put like a piece of code on that blog post, that 10 mistakes blog post, and they can read this. They can like, man, Alejandro or Chris, man, this blog is very valuable, and that's value, man. They just gave me some really good tips for free. And then like within the next 24 to 48 hours, they're gonna see an ad on Facebook from Chris that says, we hope you enjoyed that article. If you're interested in a free consultation, click here. And then I would send them to the landing page. So, this is the stuff that I've learned from like masterminds and stuff that like high level people are really, really, starting to focus on. And so we're just starting in the initial stages of testing a lot of that over the last few months. And we're seeing a lot of results, driving traffic to content, amplifying our existing content, and then retargeting those people. And I say retargeting, you may understand that, but for your listeners, so retargeting is simply, placing a piece of code on your website that basically, when they go to yourdomain.com and they read an article, they go to Facebook in 2 weeks, we can then track them, that code tracks them, and says, hey, show people that have been to my website in the last 15 days or 30 days or 60 days, and I want to show them this ad. And so retargeting is very, very powerful when done right. And I think any type of paid advertising, if you do it wrong, like it's gonna be an expensive hobby. But when done right, can be very, very powerful. So for me right now, retargeting is one of the two most important things people need to be doing right now.
Yeah,
one of the two.
And even just to sort of back up a little bit farther, I guess. You can write your posts. You can have pixels in. So explain. I guess even to go back a little bit farther, explain. How audiences work, how Facebook works, so that you can actually target people. Like how, what I'm saying? Take it back to like the beginner level.
So I went straight to Ninja. Yeah, I went straight to Ninja.
You did go straight to Ninja, and I do get it, but that's because I've been studying,
Yeah. So what you want to do, man, is Facebook. I like Facebook. I think Facebook, the news feed, the ad in the news feed, is some of the best real estate for digital advertising right now on the web.
Yeah, and not to cut you off too, but for if you're listening right now and you have no idea what we're talking about, and you're on Facebook, obviously, open up your Facebook page, right, to where the news feed is, basically where you see what all your friends are doing all the time or whatever, where your grandma puts up your old pictures and stuff, and you will see some things pop in there from time to time that are not from friends, but they are information that someone is basically offering you, right?
Yeah.
And that's basically what you're talking about right now, is in that feed, those types of things, right?
Correct.
All right. Sorry to interrupt you. Hopefully you didn't lose your train of thought.
I did, but I'll get it back. I was gonna drop some crazy knowledge.
I know you were, man. I know. I'm a lawyer, man. I gotta interrupt, man.
So by the way, do you watch the show Suits?
Of course.
Does every lawyer watch that? I want to be a lawyer now just because of that, and I want to hire Donna.
Yeah, everybody wants Donna.
I want to hire Donna because I just think my life would be amazing. But so are you more of a Mike guy or a Harvey guy?
I think I'm more of a Harvey guy.
Ooh, me too. I like Mike. I like Mike, but man, Harvey.
Yeah.
If y'all don't watch Suits, man, you guys have to check out Suits. They need to hurry up and come out. But anyway, so all that to say that Facebook. The difference between Google and Facebook. One, it's a lot cheaper on Facebook. I mean, as an example, at the university, we're paying like $50 to $75 a click. Facebook, we're paying anywhere from 30 cents to $1.50 a click. Better odds. Keep in mind, when people are going to Google, they're buyer. I call them buyers because they're actively seeking information. They're seeking to solve their problem. And you can target based off keywords. So divorce lawyer, or I don't know why I keep bringing up divorce. I'm not thinking about that.
I know what's going on.
No, but so Facebook is more psychographic. So you're interrupting them basically, but a good headline, a good picture and image, would get people's attention. By the time they click, that to me is a buyer. That's a buyer click, something that caught their attention, their interest. And so Facebook is more about psychographics. It's about a persona. So I think for any business, I don't care what business you're in, you need to have a couple personas of who you're trying to target. So if I'm, my target audience is 25 to 37 that like the show Suits, they have a yearly income of $150,000 a year, and they are a college graduate. You can get very granular, the type of avatar or persona that you're targeting, and it's very, very interesting. So that's kind of the beginning steps and stages of Facebook. There's a ton of targeting options. You can target based off their interest, pages, books they read, songs they like, music they like, shows they watch. Those kind. You could target based off of, are they charitable? You can target based off their buying behavior online. I mean, you could target so very powerful.
I have a question for you about that.
Yep.
And because it's not an issue. It's just the way that it is for a lot of attorneys, especially in consumer-driven practices like family law, like criminal defense, like bankruptcy, for example, things like that. Most people aren't in the market for a lawyer until they're in the market for a lawyer. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yep. And I remember, and that's actually, I remember you telling me that the first time.
And it'd be sort of like, and I'm curious about how you would go about trying to find those people. And it would sort of almost be like a plumber is a good example too. I mean, people don't need a plumber necessarily until something breaks. Well,
then that's where I'm really focusing on SEO, because if people are searching for it, they're going to go straight to Google. They're not going to YouTube to look. They're going straight to Google. And remember, we talked about retargeting. If they go to Google, they need someone. Maybe they're looking at 4 different. It's at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and they're looking at 4 or 5 different pages. Imagine them going to bed at 1:30, 2 a.m. or getting up at 7, 8, 9, looking on their Facebook, and they see like, oh shoot, I went to this guy's website last night. Like, okay, I might need to call this guy. This must be like a divine intervention. You know what I mean? It's like,
okay, all right. So all right. That right there, that is ninja, because I didn't even think about it in that. God, I'm an idiot. So you find those. So you put the targeting pixel on your website. See what I just sort of to back up the way that I've kind of been doing it is I thought about it more from the perspective of, let me try to find people on Facebook that would fit a certain profile and try to get them to go someplace and then capture their information. But your way is to basically have the pixel on your site all the time and sort of be constantly building an audience of people that go to your website that you can then hit up once they go to Facebook, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's so simple.
Yeah.
But
you just gotta set up one. You just gotta set it up,
Yeah. That's okay. So, all right. That's it right there, man. So,
yeah.
gosh.
So on the front end, like the long term is like, the front end is like, get your SEO right. It's like, if you just, for me, it's like, it's all encompassing. It's not just one strategy. It's like, what are the few things I should be doing? If I'm a lawyer, it's local. There's a local element of it. So I need to be ranked higher in the search engine. So how to get ranked higher? Like, obviously putting up-to-date content via blog.
Right.
Get your Yelp reviews and get your Google reviews. That's a pretty good start, more than most lawyers will do, unless they're paying someone to do it. If it's very competitive in your market, then you may need to pay someone to help you with some SEO. But the moment someone has that accident or has whatever happened to them, they're going to go to Google. And so they're probably looking at a few different places, and then that's where you pixel them in the next, within the next 24 hours or the next hour or so. They see your ad. There's just some level of trust, because oh shoot, I just went to this guy's website. I've got to check it out. And that's when you send them, you don't send them to your main website. If you want to generate a lead, it's got to be. Unless your site is simple. I always send people to a landing page.
Right. What's the landing page? Tell people what a landing page is.
Yeah. So most people's websites, there's a lot of links. There's a lot of places to click. And in marketing, we call that friction or leakage. People might click around and kind of figure out everything they need to know before they even talk to you. And I would rather send them to what we call a squeeze page or a landing page. It's a one single page. And the whole purpose of it, and hopefully in the show notes, maybe you can link them up to a couple examples of landing pages.
Yeah. It's just
one simple page. So it'd be like yourlawyerbusiness.com / Facebook or / 2015 or whatever, maybe, And so landing page is very simple, one page, has a form on there for consultation or whatever, and just simple. And there's no friction. There's not a bunch of places to click. It's like got one call to action to get people to fill out information to schedule a consultation.
Right. And then you just get them there.
Yeah, you get them there, and and hopefully they fill out the information, and it's up to you now to close it.
Now, when you for the pixel and the audience that you build, does that, and this is something I don't know, does Facebook automatically update that audience? So
yes, it does.
It does.
Yep.
That's awesome. So you can just turn on your add-on to run continuously, and it will just continue to sort of upload more people to do that, right?
Exactly.
And then,
it could be somewhat on autopilot.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you're alluding to.
But right, do you use lookalike audiences? What in this kind of context? Would you use lookalike audiences, or would you? Because it'd be tough to get the time pressure right.
Are you covering your mic?
No, I'm not. Is it hard to hear me?
You just sound really low.
Oh, I'll scoot up and I'll talk louder.
Okay.
Did you hear my question though?
Yeah, you sound good now. Say it again though. Sorry. Go ahead and start the question again.
So in a situation like this, let's say a plumber or a divorce lawyer or something like that, where you're trying to get people that have an immediate action, would you use a lookalike audience or anything like that based off of your current audience, or are you focused more on driving people to the website first, get the pixel, and then send them because they're a hot lead?
I'd send them, and this is like jargon now for folks that some marketing jargon, and so audience lookalike, and so I would say focus on sending people to the content. Forget the lookalikes for now.
Right.
Like with the model I just said, you can double your leads, and hopefully double your business. You can literally change the game in your business just by doing this, just by having a budget of $1,000 or maybe 2,000 will crush it, but 500 to 1,000, dude, you change the dynamics of lead generation for your business for sure.
Right, and you're talking about putting that $500 to $1,000 into Facebook, right?
Into ad spend, correct?
Yep. Okay. Do you have any tips for sort of the ad that you put in front of somebody? We talked a little bit about it, that you like to send people to a piece of content, but do you use images? Do you how important is the copy? Do you have any sort of fundamentals that you live by when you're doing these things?
Yeah, just what is people's biggest pain points, and mistakes, danger, failure, those, fear is a great motivator.
Right.
And so, the 10 mistakes, that's shoot, people a lot of times will invest in, making sure that they don't have failure versus having success. Right. It's prevention, right? And so that's why the mistakes work. 10 ways to have a successful divorce, or 10 ways. It's just okay, cool. But the 10 mistakes, it's oh my God, danger. The part of your brain, now this is where psychology gets in, which I'm a huge fan of. This is where the lizard brain, or the crocodile brain, it was oh my God, we need to figure out how to prevent that pain. So we need to get this. And so for me, it's I like to use a lot of fear, especially with lawyers. I like to position myself in any type of business as the number one solution. And a lot of people are afraid to use fear, but it's a great motivator. And if I can if my product or service or my consultation or my help is going to save someone's life, it's going to save someone's business, it's going to save them finances, it's going to save, dude, why not get your message out there? Go hard with it. You know what I mean? And be honest and ethical, it's don't make it so dramatic, but what are the 10 mistakes? What are the 10 most common mistakes people make, and how you can avoid them, or how you can fix them. And, so that's the blog post. And so,
it could be so for a divorce lawyer, it could be the wrong way to do it would be something how to get a great divorce lawyer as the title.
Yeah.
A great article might be 10 ways that you can lose your shirt in your divorce. Yeah,
they're going to say something else, but yeah.
Right. But that's something where people go, oh, okay. I don't want to lose my shirt. I don't want to lose everything. I'm going to check this out. Right? Basically.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, cool. And then all right, so from there, from the ad, you send them again. You send them to like a squeeze page or something is what you would prefer, right?
Yes.
All right. And then you're just trying to get their information, one call to action, and then it's up to you to sign them up.
Yeah, exactly. And there's programs like Lead Pages, like
Yep.
if people want like Lead Pages or Unbounce. I'm a big fan of Unbounce. And those are easy pages that that I would just recommend. Like most lawyers can afford this stuff, and so if I can afford it, a lawyer can. So leadpages.com or .net. Unbounce.com are really good places where you can create lead pages with ease. I'm not a technical guy. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a coder. I don't even know HTML. And so I need tools out there that make it very easy for me. So tools like Unbounce and Lead Pages are really going to help you to create those landing pages.
Yeah. And let's talk about sort of generally metrics, but in the sense of what for you is a good campaign, a result. As far as conversions, are you talking about, are you interested in like the 4 to 10% kind of area? I know it kind of depends on.
Really depends on the industry. Like I
Right.
think a conversion is like, it's like if you can get anything from 1 to 2%, it's not bad, because Facebook clicks aren't, I'm not even thinking about conversion. I'm thinking about, dollars. Like if I get a 0.5% conversion, but like my clicks are affordable and I'm only spending like $500 for 10 leads and I convert one of those, like,
Right.
dude, it's so a lot of people look at the clicks, conversions, like all those kind of rates. It's like, I'm looking at, how much, like, what was the ROI? Like, what was the ROI of that campaign? So I would hope that someone's like at, anywhere from 1 to 2%, like anything less than that, like something's wrong with your page or your page copy or your offer.
Right.
Like the offer is either really bad or your page, your page just it's not doing a good job. It's the right images on there or whatever. And so I would say, anything over 5% is like good,
Right.
I think
Killer.
anything over 5% is good.
And so for you, when you do this, are you tracking this? Let's say, you send them to the squeeze page, you got like a phone number or an email. Obviously, if it's an email, it's easy to tell where they came from because you can sort of set the list up that way. But
Yeah.
do you set up like it's not a fake phone number. I can't think of the freaking word right now. But like
Vanity?
a set call number that you can say, okay, these guys all came from this page, to track who's coming from where.
Like
that makes sense.
Like phone calls or via, like, I mean,
So
for
let's
me,
say,
it's like,
you get somebody, so you do your retargeting. The guy or the gal on Facebook sees your offer. They click on it. They go to the page, and they call you, right? If you're trying to track ROI, you got to have some way to figure out where they came from, right? Because Facebook won't necessarily tell you the specific person that clicked through, will they?
yeah. Not the specific person, but Unbounce Unbounce will tell me, like Unbounce will tell me that person, that lead that opted in, that person came from Facebook. So
Okay.
so Unbounce will do that. But if I don't have that data, I'm old school, man. It's like, hey, Chris, Alejandro here from the most dopest law firm in Sacramento.
Right.
And hey, by the way, Chris, how did you hear about us? Oh, I was browsing. Okay, cool, man. I'm jotting that down. It's like,
Right.
it's a conversation starter. Like, hey, I know you saw this ad, Chris, and this is my sales like kind of background coming.
Yeah.
It's like, I know you saw that ad, Chris. Like, what about that landing page? Like, there was a lot of information on there for you, but like, what stood out to you? And then, like, or hey, I know you read this 10 mistakes. What was the mistake the one that you thought would help you the best? Man, number 7. Where it talked about I'd have to like give over 95% of my income if I fall on this tax. Oh, so money is really important. You're making sure that you can survive. So like, it's like, that's like why I think the power of picking up the phone, and like most people go to like, oh, so like you're going to have a divorce and let me fill out some paperwork and why don't you come? It's like, no, like get to know the person, like get them on your side. Like there's a quote that, that says, he who bonds wins. Like if you can bond with people with your copy, if you could bond with people from your landing page, if you could bond with people from your images, if you could bond with people from your website, your phone call, like you're going to win. The person who bonds the most along the way in the process is going to win. And so, so I just ask people, like, how in the heck do you find out? Like, I want to make sure these technologies are giving me data, and so I'd rather hear it from the horse's mouth, if my data is tracking right.
Right. How do you? Okay.
Don't get me excited, bro. Don't get me excited.
I like it. I like it. You know, it's well, your passion is it's you know, contagious, right? Because I'm getting fired up. I'm ready to get off the phone with you and go do some stuff on my own.
Let's make it happen. Let's go.
All right, so let's say you got guys listening and girls and gals that, you know, I'm using the proverbial we from now on. I'm not saying that anymore. But if someone wants to, would you? Okay, I guess even going back all the way to the sort of most basic, if I'm listening to this show right now and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I see the value in that, I should do that. Do you recommend that people sort of find an agency to help them? Do you recommend that they do it on their own? And if they do, for either one, how do you find the right fit, or how do you find the right resources to do those things?
Yeah, great question. So I don't buy a course, just to keep it real. It's like focus on your strengths and outsource. Someone said focus on your passions and strengths and outsource the rest. So for me, it's like don't buy a course. Don't it's like you can spend $1,000 and $500 and $2,000, $3,000 later. It's like, oh man, I'm never gonna. You didn't have time to even read it. And so if you didn't have the time to read it, you probably not have the time to do it by yourself. But I would say try it out for setting up a couple campaigns. And if it works out and it's something that you're passionate, you love marketing too. And I know there's just like yourself, like there's lawyers that are marketers too. And so, a lot of them are listening because they're kind of got a marketing mind, entrepreneurial mind. And so maybe you want to try it. Then I would say, don't hire an agency. So hire a small boutique type agency. And if you're really serious about it, get in contact with me. I don't have time to do that right now, but I got two of the best guys that I know that are really, really good. One guy's the best, who I learned from, and another guy's is really, really good too. And so I got a couple guys that I can recommend that are just fantastic.
What would you say makes them good? What are
results,
maybe two or three? Results.
Results. That's
okay.
That's all that. If I could spend $1 and make $3 back, I would take that. So if I spend $1,000, I get $3,000. Guys that can map ROI and can get results.
And this is something, and I keep interrupting you because I'm terrible, but and with Facebook, it in a way is a lot like Google Ads in the sense that you should be seeing some relatively quick return, right?
No, well, it's just you're turning the hose on. So it's not SEO where it takes you 3 to 4 months, 5 months, 6 months.
Right.
It's not long. It's like you turn on the hose and you tweak along the way to make sure that it's like watering a field, right? It's like you turn it on. It's like right away, if no one teaches you how to do it, it's like, okay, maybe let me turn the water on for 30 minutes a day and see what type of results. I should probably do it at about 47 minutes at 6 to 8 p.m. And that's what testing and tweaking. So guys that are really good at this and make them good is the guys that are always testing, they're always tweaking. They've been through they've ran the play 1,000 times,
right, and
they kind of know what to look for. And they're also good at sales. They're good at writing, helping you write good copy. And so the guys that if you guys ever want to reach out to me, I can connect you with some really, really good guys.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and we're gonna get your contact information will be in the show notes, and then we'll get that. I mean, what is it right now? What do you want to? How do you want people to contact you?
Just hit me up on Twitter, man. It's the best way, at Alejandro Reyes. Just the best way to connect with me.
Yeah.
If you do the Instagram thing, same username, at Alejandro Reyes. LinkedIn's also cool. But at Alejandro Reyes, man. Twitter, Instagram, hit me up, and be more than happy to point you in the direction. And that's to do your own research to find someone locally. It's like, man, just let me hook you up with people that are already really, really good at it.
Right. Okay. All right. Cool. So we're about out of time, and I have a couple of questions I like to ask everyone. So before we get there, though, do you have any final quick thoughts about Facebook? Any words of wisdom or anything that you think is just a must-have information?
Big portion of your marketing, to Facebook, and more specifically, using Facebook to drive traffic to your blog content, like your PDFs or your white papers or those types of things. And so that's why I would say moving forward, it's Facebook's still going to be around for another couple years as far as good advertising and cheap advertising goes. Let's see, another couple years. And so you have, a plenty of time to really transform, the trajectory of your business for sure.
Okay, fantastic. All right, you got a couple minutes for some lightning round questions?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
All right, so these are going to just be quick hitters. You can take as long or short as you want to respond. All right. Number one is, do you have a morning routine?
Yeah, man. Morning routine is wake up, and I check my email. That's stupid. But I turn around and most people probably hug their wife. I grab my phone. No, I hug my
Nice.
wife. But it's phone's probably somewhere in the bed with me.
Yep.
And so yeah, man, I get up, I pray, meditate, just kind of get my mind right. I think that's one of my most underrated strategies is prayer and meditation, and then get my kids ready. And then when I get to the get my kids ready, take my daughter to school, take my daughter to school every day, and then when I get to the office, I'm planning out my entire day. I'm looking at what I didn't finish yesterday, and then planning out the rest of my day. But Sunday is all about planning the week. But every day I'm always, the first thing I'm doing is making sure I have my to-dos for the day, the big wins, right? And I try to do the hardest thing in the morning.
Yep.
And then at the end of the day, I'm planning, putting together some sort of plan of action for the next day.
Cool. What is the best advice you've ever received?
Figure out your passion and build this is two, and
Okay.
I almost said them both together, but it's find out what you're most passionate about and figure out a way to get paid to do that.
Yep.
And the second part of that is figure out what your purpose is and build your entire life around that.
Okay, cool. I like it. Where'd you get that advice from?
I got it from a buddy, Gary Zaleski. He's
Okay.
a motivational speaker that used to speak a lot back in the day.
Great. Cool. What is something that's working for you right now?
Something that's working for me?
Yeah.
Something that's working for me. That's a good question, because I could easy ones like, hey man, we've been talking about
Right,
Facebook
Facebook.
ads.
Right.
The best thing is I will put my 5 closest friends, guy friends, buddies of mine, against anyone's 5 closest friends. And guys, it's really hard for guys to really be vulnerable, really be open up and talk about the things they struggle with. Girls are great at that, man. They talk forever, but I am where I am, and I feel like I've worked really, 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 really hard. But I feel like there's been less frictionless obstacles because I have people I can call on, for business advice. Like I have these 5 close friends that are business like buddies, smartest guys I know, and they're great friends that will help me when times just suck.
Right.
I have the personality with the highs are highs and the lows are lows, and so they're with me at both both times. And so for me, what's working is like having the entourage that has your back.
Right. What is okay? You can only recommend one book to somebody. What book is that?
Books Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini.
Great book. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down. Give me 1 second.
Second is the Ultimate Sales Machine.
Yeah, Ultimate Sales Machine. I love that book too.
Yeah.
That is a great book. All right. What? Let me see. What's the next one? What is the? All right. This is the last 2 to wrap it up. What is the one question that I didn't ask you that I should have?
The question you should have asked me is like, take a look, Alejandro, what I'm doing with my business, and give me some tweaks and give me some critiques.
Okay. Can I ask you to do that?
Sure, no problem. I'll send you the invoice. No, I'm just joking.
I
man.
know,
Yeah,
right?
No
You will.
problem.
You will. I'll pay
No
you, man.
problem.
Hey, if it's-
no problem. I'm just totally joking. But yeah, man, happy to help.
Okay. Awesome. And then to wrap it up, one parting piece of advice, and then again, just how people can find you.
Yeah, best way to find me is at Alejandro Reyes on Twitter. Best way to find me, connect with me. And then the last thing, man, is I would be thinking, man, what are the 3 words? Identify your life by 3 words or 3 things you want to be doing in the next 5 years. For me, it's thinking, it's inspiring, and it's all about family. And so if you can build your life around those things, like distractions and obstacles that come your way, like you'll never have to worry about those distractions, because if they don't line up with your 3 to 5 year plan of accomplishing those goals, those things, those 3 words, then I think that's the thing that's really helped me just have so much focus and clarity.
Fantastic advice. I don't have my 3 words, but I'm gonna have to come up with them.
Yeah.
So, okay, to wrap it up, I really appreciate your time. I know you're busy. You got all kinds of different things going on, and your expertise is very welcome and appreciated as well. So, I just wanted to thank you for coming and, just say I appreciate you.
I got a little one little plug.
Yeah,
if somebody will review this podcast and put hashtag Alejandro Reyes and their website, I will review their website for them for free if they do a review of your podcast in iTunes. So if they go to iTunes, they put hashtag Alejandro Reyes. Hey, I like that interview with hashtag Alejandro Reyes. I like this one thing. If they put their URL in there, and you got to tell me, Chris, I'll do a free critique of their podcast.
That's awesome.
I mean, excuse me, of their website.
Of their website. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
cool,
great.
Man.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I really appreciate it. And I know someone's going to take you up on that. Right now, everybody's listening and going, I should do that. But somebody will. And you should, if you're listening. Do that right now. Don't wait. But again, thank you so much for your time and your expertise and your honesty and sharing. I really appreciate it. And have a great day.
All right, man. You too, buddy. Take care.
All right.
Thanks for listening to the Art of Lawyering podcast. For more great action-packed advice and information, visit theartoflawyering.com.